The tin cup trembled in Corbin Thorne's hand, not from the weight of the water, from the weight of what would come after. He stood there in the dust of his own land. Afternoon sun burning against his neck like a brand. Sweat running down his temple in a thin line that had nothing to do with the heat. The Arizona desert had a way of cooking men alive. But this sweat came from somewhere colder. From the fear that had started to wrap around his chest like wire, tightening with each passing second. The Apache girl was collapsed against his fence. 15, maybe younger, lips cracked and bleeding, turned white from dehydration. Her breathing came shallow and fast. The kind of breathing that means the body is already starting to shut down. Dust caked her face. Blood stained her shoulder where cloth had been wrapped hastily, already soaked through. Her eyes, dark and deep as wells, stared up at him from where she lay crumpled in the dirt. She didn't beg, didn't cry, didn't plead. She just watched, waiting to see who he really was. Behind him, voices carried on the wind. Men, 8 of them. The militia that had been hunting Apache through these hills for 3 weeks. Their voices were getting closer, louder. Maybe 50 seconds away now, maybe less. Ahead, movement on the ridge to the north. Shadows among the rocks. Apache warriors watching from high ground. He counted 3. No, 4. Maybe more behind the boulders. They hadn't moved for the last 10 minutes. Just stood there like statues carved from stone, watching everything that happened below. Watching him. Corbin looked down at the cup in his hand. The water inside caught the sunlight, rippling slightly as his hand shook. Such a simple thing. Just water. Just a tin cup filled from his well. Something he did 20 times a day without thinking. But this time, it wasn't simple. This time, it was a choice. The girl's hand reached out. Thin fingers, shaking so badly she could barely extend them, reaching for the cup, for life. Her lips moved but no sound came out. Too dry to speak, too weak to do anything but reach. Corbin's mind raced. If he gave her this water, the militia would know. They'd see the wet ground, see her alive instead of dead, know that someone helped her, and they'd want to know who, want to know why, want to make an example. If he didn't give her the water, she'd be dead in an hour, maybe less. The sun was only getting hotter, and he'd have to live with that. With watching a 15-year-old girl die of thirst 10 feet from his well, because he was too afraid to do the right thing. 40 seconds. The voices were closer now. He could make out words. Someone laughing. Someone cursing. The sound of rifles clanking against saddles as horses climbed the rocky path. 30 seconds. The girl's hand dropped slightly. Trembling. Giving up. Her eyes started to close. Corbin made his decision. His hand moved before his mind could talk him out of it. He stepped forward, knelt down in the dust beside her, held the cup to her lips. Drink. She opened her eyes, looked at him with surprise, then grabbed the cup with both hands and drank. 3 gulps, fast and desperate. Water spilled down her chin, mixed with dust and blood from the crack in her lip, making muddy trails down her neck. She drank like she'd been wandering the desert for days. Maybe she had. When she finished, she lowered the cup, looked at him, memorizing his face. Her eyes said what her mouth couldn't. Thank you, and I'm sorry for what comes next. Then she pushed herself up, stumbled, caught herself on the fence post, and ran. Not fast, not graceful, but running, feet dragging, body swaying, barely holding herself upright. She disappeared into the brush to the east, leaving a trail of broken branches and drops of blood in the dirt. Corbin watched her go. Then he heard the horses crest the hill. 20 seconds. He threw the cup into the dirt near the well, kicked dust over the wet spots where water had spilled, rubbed his hands on his pants, tried to look like a man who'd just been checking his fence line, not like a man who'd just committed what the militia would call treason. 10 seconds. He turned around just as the first rider appeared. Marcus Hale. Thick-necked, jaw like a chunk of granite, eyes that looked at the world like everything in it owed him something. He wore a gray coat despite the heat, dust covering it so thick you could barely see the original color. A rifle across his saddle, a pistol on his hip, and behind him, 7 more men, all armed, all riding hard, all with the look of men who'd been chasing something for too long and were ready to stop chasing and start shooting. Marcus pulled his horse to a stop 20 feet from Corbin. The animal was lathered, breathing hard. The other riders fanned out in a loose semicircle, cutting off exits. For 5 seconds, nobody spoke. Marcus scanned the area. The fence, the well, the trampled dirt where the girl had been lying 60 seconds ago. His eyes moved slow, taking in every detail, looking for something wrong, something out of place. Thorn, he said finally. Marcus, you alone out here? Corbin kept his face still, neutral, the kind of expression a man wears when he's got nothing to hide and nothing to fear. Always am. Marcus' eyes narrowed. Seen any Apache today? The question hung in the air between them like gunsmoke. Corbin could feel the weight of it. The weight of the lie he was about to tell. The weight of 8 pairs of eyes watching him. The weight of the warriors on the ridge who'd just seen everything. The weight of the blood trail leading east into the brush. The weight of being a man caught between 2 sides that both wanted him to choose them. No, Corbin said. His voice came out steady, calm. Nothing but dust and wind out here. Marcus sat still in his saddle, staring, waiting for a crack, a tell, something in the eyes or the voice that would give away the lie. Corbin didn't flinch. Funny, Marcus said slowly. We tracked a girl up this way. Young one, maybe 15. Apache, wounded in the shoulder from when we raided their camp 3 days ago. Blood trail led right up this hill. He leaned forward. Ended about here. Corbin shrugged. Must have kept moving. In this heat? With that wound. She'd be dead by now. Then, I guess you don't need to keep looking. Marcus' jaw tightened. He dismounted. Slow, deliberate. Walked toward Corbin until they were 5 feet apart. Close enough that Corbin could smell whiskey on his breath. Close enough to see the red veins in his eyes from 3 weeks of hard riding and bad sleep. Close enough that if Marcus wanted to throw a punch, Corbin would have time to dodge. You sure you didn't see anything? Marcus asked quietly. I'm sure, because lying to me would be a bad idea. Thorn. I'm not lying. Marcus stared at him for another 5 seconds. Then he looked down. At the ground. At the dirt near the well. At the dark spots where water had fallen. The spots Corbin had tried to cover with dust. His boots scraped across the ground, revealing the wet dirt underneath. What's this? Spilled some water checking the well. Happens. Right. Marcus said. He didn't sound convinced. He looked east. At the brush. At the broken branches. At the blood drops in the dirt that caught the sunlight like little red jewels. He saw it. Corbin knew he saw it. But Marcus didn't move. Didn't call out to his men. Didn't draw his gun. He just stood there, looking at the trail, thinking. Then he turned back to Corbin. "Well, keep looking," he said. His voice had gone cold, flat. The voice of a man who's decided something but isn't saying it out loud yet. "Come on, spread out south of here." "South?" One of the riders, younger man with pale eyes that didn't blink enough, spoke up. "Boss, the trail goes east." I said south. Marcus snapped. "Move." The men hesitated, then obeyed. They turned their horses and rode south, away from the girl's actual path, away from where she'd gone, all except the young one. He stayed, sitting on his horse, staring at Corbin with those pale, unblinking eyes, not with anger, with understanding. He knew Corbin had lied. He knew Marcus knew. And he knew Marcus was letting it slide for now. But his eyes said, "This isn't over." Then he kicked his horse and followed the others. Corbin stood there in the dust, listening to the sound of hoofbeats fade, listening to his own heartbeat hammering in his ears, listening to the silence that came after. When he couldn't hear them anymore, he exhaled, long and slow and shaking. Had done it. Had lied to 8 armed men, sent them in the wrong direction, bought the girl time. Maybe enough time to make it back toward people. Maybe not. He looked down at his hands. They were still trembling. He looked up at the ridge. The warriors were still there, still watching. One of them, taller than the rest with a scar across his chest visible even from this distance, raised one hand. Not a wave, not a threat, just acknowledgement. "We saw what you did." Then they disappeared behind the rocks. Corbin walked back toward his cabin. A small structure, wood walls weathered gray from years of sun and wind. One room, one window, one door that didn't lock because had never needed it to. A life built for solitude, not by choice, by consequence, by being the kind of man who didn't quite fit with anyone. He pushed the door open and stepped inside, then stopped. On the floor, just inside the threshold, was a necklace. Small thing, made of leather cord and turquoise stones. Apache craftsmanship, the kind of delicate work that takes days to make. The kind of thing someone wears because it means something, because it was given by someone who mattered. It must have fallen from the girl's neck when she ran. Corbin bent down and picked it up. The leather was damp, sticky. He turned it over in his hand and saw the stain. Blood, still wet. She was hurt worse than Head thought. He carried the necklace to his table and set it down. Sat down in his chair, stared at it, and thought, what did I just do? He didn't have an answer. Not yet. But he knew something had changed. Something had shifted. Had crossed a line he hadn't even known was there. And now he was standing on the other side, alone, wondering what comes next. He sat there as the sun moved across the sky, as the shadows in his cabin stretched and changed, as the temperature dropped from unbearable to merely oppressive. He didn't eat, didn't drink, just sat there, thinking about a 15-year-old girl with blood on her necklace and terror in her eyes, thinking about the militia who'd almost found her, thinking about the warriors who'd watched everything, thinking about Marcus' face when he looked at that blood trail and chose to ride south anyway. Why had he done that? Marcus wasn't stupid, wasn't soft. Had killed Apache before, would kill again without hesitation. So why let the girl go? Unless he hadn't. Unless he was just waiting, watching, giving Corbin enough rope to hang himself. The thought sent ice through Corbin's veins. He stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the darkening desert. Nothing moved. No riders, no warriors, just empty land and dying light. But he felt watched, felt eyes on him even though he couldn't see them, felt like a piece on a board that two players were fighting over, neither of them asking what the piece wanted. He went to bed that night with his rifle beside him, slept in his clothes, woke up 3 times to sounds that weren't there. Dawn came slow and red. Corbin got up, splashed water on his face from the basin, and walked outside to check the well, then froze. The ground around his cabin was covered in footprints. Not his, not boots, not horse tracks, bare feet, moccasins, at least 6 different sets, maybe more. They circled his entire cabin, came right up to the walls, right up to his window, right up to his door. They'd been here during the night. While he slept, Corbin's pulse kicked up hard and fast. He followed the tracks. They moved in patterns, deliberate patterns, not random wandering, not scouting. They'd searched, looked in his window, checked his shed, walked the perimeter of his land. They'd been close enough to break down his door, close enough to put a knife through the window, close enough to end him without a sound. But they hadn't. They'd just watched. Corbin scanned the ridge. Morning light made it hard to see details, but he saw movement, shadows among the rocks. 2 of them, maybe 3, standing perfectly still, watching him now, in daylight, not hiding anymore. He raised one hand, slow, showing he wasn't armed, showing he wasn't a threat. No response, no movement, just watching. Corbin lowered his hand, walked back inside. His legs felt weak. His hands were shaking again. Not from fear. Exactly. From the weight of realization. He was being tested by both sides. The militia wanted to see if he'd crack, if he'd confess, if he'd lead them to the girl. The Apache wanted to see if he'd betray her, if he'd talk, if he was worth trusting or worth killing. And he was stuck in the middle, trying to figure out how to stay alive when both sides wanted different things from him. He sat at his table, looked at the necklace again, picked it up, turned it over in his hands. Somewhere out there, a girl was either healing or dying, and he'd never know which. The morning dragged on, hot, silent, empty. Corbin worked around the cabin, fixed a broken board on the fence, checked the well, pretended everything was normal, pretended he wasn't being watched from the ridge, pretended his life hadn't turned into something dangerous overnight. At noon, he saw dust on the horizon. A rider, coming up the path, alone this time. Not the whole militia, just one man. The young one, the one with pale eyes. Corbin met him outside, stood in the sun with his rifle leaning against the cabin wall behind him, close enough to grab if needed, far enough away that it didn't look like a threat. The rider stopped 10 feet away, didn't dismount, just sat there on his horse, looking down at Corbin with that same unblinking stare that made Corbin's skin crawl. "Name's Pike," the rider said. His voice was quiet, calm, the kind of calm that meant danger. "Don't think we've been properly introduced." "Thorn." "I know." Pike leaned forward in his saddle. "You lied to us yesterday." Corbin didn't respond. "You saw her, gave her water, maybe more. Then you sent us south when her trail went east." Pike's eyes didn't leave Corbin's face. "Marcus knows." "I know." The other men are starting to figure it out. I told you what I saw, Corbin said. You told us what you wanted us to believe. Different thing. Silence. The sun beat down. Corbin's shirt stuck to his back with sweat. His mouth was dry, but he didn't reach for his canteen. Didn't break eye contact. Pike shifted in his saddle. Marcus is giving you a chance. Don't know why. Maybe he likes you. Maybe he thinks you're just stupid instead of traitorous. But he sent me here to make something clear. What's that? Tell us where she went. Bring us to her. Help us finish what we started 3 days ago. Pike paused. And maybe we forget you helped her. Maybe you get to keep living here. Keep working your land. Keep being one of us. And if I don't, Pike's expression didn't change. Then you're not one of us anymore. You're one of them. And we treat you accordingly. Corbin felt the weight of those words settle over him like stones. I don't know where she went, he said. You're lying. I'm not. Yes, Pike said quietly. You are. They stared at each other, neither moving, neither blinking. Then Pike straightened in his saddle. You think the Apache are going to thank you? You think they care that you gave her water? You're just a settler to them. Just another white man taking their land, killing their people. They'll put an arrow in you same as they would any of us. Maybe, Corbin said. But at least they'll die knowing I didn't let a 15-year-old girl die of thirst. Pike stared at him, long and hard, like he was trying to see inside Corbin's head, trying to understand what kind of man chooses a stranger over his own people. You're a fool, Thorn, Pike said finally. Probably. You're going to die for this. Maybe. Pike shook his head. I almost respect it. Almost. He gathered his reins. But respect doesn't stop bullets. And Marcus won't wait forever. You got until tomorrow to change your mind. After that, we're coming back. And we won't ask nice. He turned his horse and rode away. Corbin watched him disappear down the hill. Watched the dust settle. Watched the empty horizon for movement that didn't come. Then he looked back at the ridge. The warriors were still there, still watching. They'd seen the whole conversation, heard enough to understand, and now they knew. Corbin hadn't broken, hadn't given them up, hadn't sold the girl to save himself. But that didn't mean they trusted him. Didn't mean they'd help him. Just meant they'd wait to see what he did next. Corbin went back inside, paced the length of his cabin. 12 steps one way, 12 steps back. His mind raced. He had maybe 18 hours before the militia came back. Before they stopped asking and started burning. Before they made good on the threat that hung in Pike's words like smoke. He could run. Pack what little he owned and head west. Leave this behind. Start over somewhere else. Live another day. But running meant losing everything. His land, his cabin, the life he'd built over 10 years of hard work and harder winters. And running meant living as the man who ran. Living with that face in the mirror every morning. That coward face. He could fight, bar the door, grab his rifle, make a stand, go down swinging. But that was suicide. 8 men with rifles against 1 man in a wooden cabin that would burn like kindling. He'd be dead in 5 minutes. 10 if he was lucky. Or he could tell them the truth. Admit he helped her. Lead them to where he thought she went. Save himself by selling her. Corbin stopped pacing. Stood in the middle of his cabin. Looked at the necklace on the table. He thought about her eyes. How they'd watched him. Not begging, just waiting to see who he was. He thought about the water spilling down her chin. About how Shed run, even though every step probably felt like knives. About how Shed left this necklace behind. This thing that clearly mattered to her, because she was too weak to notice it falling. He thought about what kind of man he wanted to be, and he made a choice. He wasn't running, wasn't fighting, wasn't betraying her. He was going to wait, see what happened, face it when it came, and deal with the consequences like a man who could still look himself in the eye. The night came. Corbin didn't sleep, just sat in his chair with his rifle across his lap, listening to every sound, every cricket, every coyote, every shift of wind against the walls. Around midnight, he heard movement outside, footsteps, quiet, careful, more than one person. Corbin stood, moved to the window, looked out. Shadows, circling the cabin again. Closer this time, bold enough to come within arm's reach of his walls. One of them stopped at his door, stood there. Corbin could see the outline through the cracks in the wood, could see the shape of a man with a bow, could see the tension in his stance, the readiness to kill. 30 seconds passed. Then the shadow moved away, back into the darkness, back toward the ridge. They were still testing him, still watching, still waiting to see what he'd do when the militia came. Corbin didn't sleep at all that night. Dawn came red and angry. Corbin stepped outside into air that already felt like fire. The sky was cloudless, perfect killing weather. He walked to the well, drew water, drank, splashed some on his face, tried to wash away the exhaustion and fear that had settled into his bones. Then he heard them. Horses, lots of them, coming from the south. Corbin turned, watched the dust cloud grow, counted the riders as they crested the hill. 8, up, the whole militia. Marcus in the lead, Pike beside him. The others fanned out behind them, all armed, all grim-faced, all coming with purpose. They stopped 50 yards from his cabin, set up in a loose line, not charging, not attacking, just waiting. Corbin looked north, at the ridge. Movement. Warriors appearing from behind rocks. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. More than had seen before. More than had thought were watching. They stood in plain sight now. No hiding, no pretending. Just there, visible, armed, ready. Corbin stood between them, alone in the middle of a killing ground. One man, one rifle, 2 armies. Marcus rode forward, stopped 20 feet away, dismounted, walked closer until he was 10 feet from Corbin. "We know she's here," Marcus said. His voice was flat. "Final. We found fresh blood this morning, leading back this way. She circled around, came back here because she knows you helped her." Corbin's heart stopped. He hadn't checked the barn, hadn't checked the shed, hadn't even thought if she'd come back, if she was hiding somewhere on his land, wounded and weak and trapped. "She's not here," Corbin said. "And then you won't mind if we search." Marcus started to walk past him toward the cabin. From the ridge, movement. 2 warriors stepped forward, raised their bows. Not drawn, not aimed, just ready. Marcus stopped, looked up at them, then back at Corbin. "You got Apache protecting you now?" Marcus' voice had gone cold. "That's how it is? That's what you are? I'm just a man on my own land." Corbin said, "Not anymore." Marcus turned to face him fully. "You help her. You're one of them. You're an enemy. And we don't let enemies live on our land. This is my land, Corbin said. I bought it. I worked it. I bled for it. And you just lost it. Marcus pointed at the cabin. In giving you one choice. One. Bring us to her. Tell us where she is. Help us end this. And maybe, you get to walk away from this alive. She's not here. Liar! Marcus roared. Spit flew from his mouth. His face turned red. We found her blood. We found her tracks. She's in that barn or that shed or that cabin and you know it. Corbin's hands tightened into fists. Even if she was, even if she's dying in my barn right now, I wouldn't tell you. Silence. The kind of silence that comes before thunder. Marcus stared at him. Disbelief in his eyes. Then rage. Then something worse. Certainty. You just signed your death warrant. Thorn. He turned to his men. Spread out. Check the barn. The shed. The cabin. Burn anything that gets in your way. Find her. The men dismounted. Started walking forward. From the ridge. The warriors moved. Not down. Not charging. Just forward. To the edge. Making themselves seen. Making their intentions clear. If the militia searched Corbin's land, the Apache would attack. Marcus saw them. Stopped his men with a raised hand. Calculated the odds. 8 rifles against 8 bows. High ground versus low. Close quarters versus open field. A bloodbath. No matter who won. He looked back at Corbin. You die for her? For some Apache girl you don't even know? Edidi before I let you kill a child. Corbin said. Same thing. No. Corbin said. It's not. They stood there. 10 feet apart. 2 men who'd lived in the same territory for years without trouble. Now on opposite sides of something that couldn't be uncrossed. Last chance. Marcus said quietly. Tell me where she is. Right now. Or we're burning everything. Starting with you. Corbin took a breath. In. On. Out. Steady. Then he said the words that ended everything. Go ahead and try. Marcus' face twisted. Burn it! He shouted. Burn it all. I want this place ash by sundown. The men pulled torches from their saddles. Struck matches. Flames leaped to life in the dry air. From the ridge. War cries. The warriors charged down. Not slow anymore. Fast. Coming like a storm. The militia spun. Raised rifles. Took aim. And Corbin stood in the middle. Watching 2 sides rush toward each other. Knowing had just started a war. Then, stop. Everyone froze. A voice. Young. Female. Speaking Apache. From the barn. The door opened. And the girl walked out. Limping. Holding her wounded shoulder. Face pale. But alive. Walking. She moved between Corbin and the militia. Looked at Marcus. Then at the warriors on the ridge. She spoke in Apache. Long and fast. Corbin didn't understand the words, but he understood the tone. She was explaining. Defending. Making a case. The warriors stopped. Listened. Lowered their bows. She turned to Marcus. Switched to English. Broken. Dented. But clear. He saved me. Give water. Hide me. Not hurt me. Not trade me. She looked at Corbin. Then back at Marcus. He good man. You kill him. You kill good man. Marcus stared at her. You think that changes anything? You're still Apache. He's still a traitor. And you're both dead. She shook her head. You kill me. You die. All die. They come. She pointed at the ridge. They wait for you to kill me. Then they kill you. All of you. Blood for blood. Pike stepped forward. She's right. Marcus. They got the high ground. They got cover. We're exposed. We try anything. Half of us don't make it out. Marcus' jaw worked. His hands clenched and unclenched. He looked at the girl, at Corbin, at the warriors, at his own men. He was trapped by circumstances, by odds, by a 15-year-old girl with more courage than sense. This isn't over, Marcus said finally. You hear me, Thorn? This isn't done. You made your choice. You chose them over us. And we don't forget that. He turned to his men. Mount up. We're leaving. What? Pike said. I said we're leaving. Marcus roared. The men hesitated, then obeyed, extinguished the torches, mounted their horses, rode away, dust rising behind them, carrying their anger with them. Corbin watched them go, watched until they disappeared over the horizon, watched until the dust settled and the desert was empty again. Then he turned. The warriors had come down from the ridge. They stood 20 feet away, all 8 of them, armed, watching. The older one with the scar across his chest stepped forward. He looked at Corbin, then at the girl. He spoke in Apache, soft, gentle. The girl nodded, replied. The warrior walked to the barn. 2 others followed. They came back with a travois, made from branches and rope. Simple but effective. They lifted the girl onto it. Careful, gentle hands. She winced but didn't cry out. Before they left, she looked at Corbin. Thank you, she said in English. For water, for life. Corbin nodded, couldn't find words. The older warrior approached him, reached into a pouch at his belt, pulled something out, held it toward Corbin. A stone, white, smooth, river-worn, sacred. Corbin took it. The warrior placed a hand on Corbin's shoulder, squeezed once, a gesture of respect, of acknowledgement, of something that didn't have a name in either language. Then he let go, turned, and the group walked away, carrying the girl with them, disappearing into the desert like smoke. Corbin stood alone in the dirt, holding a white stone and watching them vanish into the shimmering heat. The sun beat down. The desert returned to silence. The wind blew dust across his land that now felt different. Marked, changed. Corbin went inside, sat at his table, put the stone next to the necklace, stared at them both. Had lost everything. His place in the community, his safety, his reputation. The militia would spread the word. Thorn chose Apache over us. Thorn's a traitor. Don't trade with him. Don't talk to him. Don't help him. He was alone now. Truly alone. In a way he'd never been before. But when he closed his eyes, he didn't see the militia's rage, didn't see the warrior's suspicion. He saw the girl, drinking water, looking at him like he mattered, like his choice mattered, and he realized something. For the first time in years, had done something that felt right. Not convenient. Not safe. Not smart. Right. And maybe that was worth everything it cost. Days turned into weeks. No one came. Not the militia. Not the Apache. Not anyone. Corbin worked his land alone. Drew water from the well that had started all of this. Fixed his fence. Maintained his cabin. Lived in silence. He became a ghost. Erased from the world while still walking through it. The town wouldn't acknowledge him. Wouldn't sell to him. Wouldn't speak to him. Had become the man who chose wrong. The man who betrayed his own. He rode into town once. Needed supplies. Walked into the general store and felt every eye turn to him. Felt the weight of their judgment like a physical thing. The shopkeeper refused to sell to him. Told him to leave. Called him a traitor, loud enough for everyone to hear. Corbin left. Rode home. Learned to live with less. The Apache didn't return either. No more footprints around his cabin. No more shadows on the ridge. They'd taken what they needed, their wounded girl, and moved on. He was alone again. Same as before, except not the same. Because something had changed inside him. Some weight had been carrying for years had lifted. The weight of trying to belong. Trying to fit. Trying to be accepted by people who only accepted sameness. He didn't have that weight anymore. On the 16th day, Corbin woke to find something on his doorstep. The necklace. Cleaned. Repaired. The blood washed away. The turquoise stones polished. The leather cord soft and new. And beside it, 3 dried apples, carefully wrapped in cloth, and a small bundle of herbs. Medicine, the kind used for wounds and fevers. Corbin picked them up, looked at the ridge. Nothing, no movement, no sign, just empty desert and morning light. But someone had been here. Shed survived. Shed healed. And she'd come back to return what she'd lost. To say thank you the only way she could. Corbin sat down on his doorstep, held the necklace, looked at the apples and the medicine and the white stone from the warrior. Tokens from people who didn't owe him anything, who had every reason to hate him, but who remembered him for one thing, giving water to someone who needed it. He thought about Marcus' face, twisted with rage, calling him a traitor, promising this wasn't over. He thought about the townspeople, turning their backs, shutting their doors, erasing him. He thought about the choice he'd made, the cost he'd paid, the life he'd lost, and he asked himself the question he'd been asking for weeks. Was it worth it? He didn't have a simple answer. Part of him wished he'd walked away that day, pretended not to see her, let her die in the dust, kept his life simple and safe. But another part, the part that could still look himself in the eye, knew he'd made the only choice he could live with. 2 sides hated him. Both thought he was a traitor. Both would remember him as the man who chose wrong. But one of them also remembered him as the man who gave water. And maybe, in the end, being remembered for one act of kindness is worth more than being accepted for 1,000 acts of cowardice. Corbin put the necklace in his pocket, ate one of the apples, tasted the sweetness, felt the medicine's weight in his hand. Then he got up and went back to work. The land didn't care who hated him. The sun still rose. The well still gave water. The fence still needed mending. Life continued whether people acknowledged him or not. And somewhere in the hills, a 15-year-old girl was alive because a man decided that 10 seconds of courage was worth a lifetime of consequence. Not every man who faces that choice survives it. Not every man who survives it finds peace. But some do. And on quiet mornings, when the desert is still, and the air hasn't yet turned to fire. Corbin Thorne would sit on his doorstep, holding a white stone and a turquoise necklace, and know he'd done something that mattered, even if no one else ever knew. Even if he died alone on this land he'd defended. Even if the only witness to his choice was a dying girl and a handful of warriors who'd never speak his name. He'd chosen humanity over belonging. And that was enough.